Thank you. So, thanks to the Rotary, I sort of have a I'm not worthy aspect here with all these other people. And everybody has done such great things, and I think it's great that Rotary has been encouraging the education of young people, particularly women, because I have two daughters, and they're educating away. One of them has actually just started her MD PhD program at NYU, so 8 years from now, she'll be up here, hopefully winning an award. So Finder is an interesting thing. It's not a very, people say, well, why would Jet Propulsion Lab be finding victims in rubble and earthquakes? And so it's kind of interesting to look back at how did we get started in this. Homeland Security and FEMA, responded to the Haiti disaster. There's this problem of having hundreds, if not thousands, of structures, some of which will have victims in them and some of them which won't, and they wanted something which they called the holy grail of search and rescue. They wanted to walk down the street and know which buildings have somebody to go save and which ones don't. I don't know that we've actually quite found the grail, but we've moved them a long way towards the goal of that. So why JPL? Well, in some ways, this is remote sensing. This is what we do at Jet Propulsion Lab. We do robotic exploration. We don't have astronauts at JPL who go out to Mars or Jupiter or Saturn or Uranus, or even looking down and looking at the weather. We have satellites and spacecraft that go out and measure things from a long way away. So for us, who are used to developing things that can measure the gravitational field of Saturn that's 1 billion kilometers away, looking for tiny motion from people's heartbeats 30 feet away in a pile of rubble should be an easy job. Well, it isn't. But we did get pretty far along the way there. And as Dr. Cheta said, one of the challenges was how do we distinguish between heartbeats from humans and heartbeats from cows and goats and pigs and cats and dogs and anything else. Not that you don't want to save the family goat, but when you're allocating resources, you want to look for the people first. Couldn't have done it without a team of people at JPL. There's people who help build the mechanical parts of it, people who do the electronics, people who write the software. It's all come together in a very gratifying way. I've been at JPL almost 2 decades now, and I've worked on lots of different projects, remote sensing of the wind on the ocean and Mars landers. I have to say that working on Finder was probably one of the most personally gratifying projects I've ever worked on. How often do you get to work on technology that directly saves lives? It's just, there's nothing cooler. And to have our invention go out, and now there are companies manufacturing it, and it's being sold around the world, and it will improve. And as Judge Ito was saying, this is what you want the fire department to have when there's an earthquake in LA, so they can come find you. Someday that will be the reality, and I think I'm incredibly gratified that I was able to be involved in making that happen. So I think that's pretty much everything I have to say about Finder and all the wonderful things it can do. Thank you very much.